month into the tournament, and the final match of the pool stages, match number 40, and one both these nations have been planning for since they heard the draw. Just one place left to be filled. One final check on the lineups. Nick Mallett's picked a very handy-looking Italian team for what might be his final match in charge, despite the short 5-day turnaround. He's stuck largely with the one that beat the USA last Thursday. Andrea Mazzi at fullback, the only change. Parise, Zani, Castrogiovanni, the Bergamascos, all there. Ireland's best performance so far was the win against Australia, of course, so it's no surprise to see Declan Kidney turning again to the bulk of those who did a job for him up in Auckland. The only two who didn't start that night are at 9 and 10, young Conor Murray, and not so young Ronan O'Gara. The Munster duo start tonight, which leaves a couple of Leinster halfbacks on the bench, and you can be pretty certain Owen Redden and Johnny Sexton will have parts to play later. Ongaro, Lo Cicero, Bortolami, 3 Italian 30-somethings will hope to influence affairs when they are introduced. Never before in its short life has this Otago Stadium felt more like a greenhouse. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like.
Today by the New Zealand Choral Federation Anthem Choir.
Against Italy for the last place in the quarter-finals coming up. Welcome back to Dunedin for what may yet be another great World Cup night for Ireland here in New Zealand. 12 years ago, Alan Quinlan made his debut in this tournament. A year later, he played his first match in the new Six Nations against Italy. He's with us this evening.
Good evening to everyone. The atmosphere is absolutely fantastic here. Ireland Ireland are the ones the pressure is all on today. Everyone fancies them to win, and for the Italians, they've nothing to lose. It's cup rugby, someone's going home tomorrow.
They are. A last 8 date with Wales in Wellington next Saturday. Wait to be accepted. Is this to be Ireland's night? Jonathan Kaplan has us underway. Nobody's reffed more World Cup matches than him. Bryce Lawrence and Chris Pollock are Kiwi officials. Ireland in green, of course, have the early possession with the young thruster Conor Murray. What a night for him, just his 5th cap, but so much hope and expectation resting on his young shoulders. It's a brave call by Declan Kidney. There were more experienced options, but Murray was the best, according to the coach. And Ireland having to work extremely hard to win that ball back. First feather in the cap of the Italian forwards.
Absolutely, a great tackle there. Rory Best wrapped up Donegal O'Callaghan. They've shown early intent. They look so pumped up for this match, the Italians. Very, very physical team, and we've seen their physicality straight from the off. It's a great catch here. You see Carney, and that's one of his strengths. Fantastic catch.
And this is the area that Nick Mallett has been going on about all week. Anyone who's been prepared to listen has heard him say, "We have the best scrum." Words meant as much for Jonathan Kaplan on the far side as any of us. Let's see. Ireland will have heard those words. That's a fairly decent response, I would have thought. Italy still have possession, but there was real feeling in that first Italian shove. This is Castrogiovanni. Italian scrum half is Fabio Semenzato. Driven forward by Gonzalo Canale. Here's Semenzato again, picked up by Luciano O'Cara. Here goes Quinton Heldenhuis, one of 2 men who have their roots in South Africa, who now have their roots in the Italian second row. But this time it will be an Irish scrum, and you would have been in plenty of packs, Alan, where opposition coaches have been belittling you in the week leading up to it. It only serves to stoke the fires, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think the Irish team, they've kept a low profile this week, not said much. Nick Mallett has been talking up the Italian scrum. Of course, we know they're a very strong scrum, but Ireland will be very, very determined tonight to counteract their scrum, and they showed how good it was against Australia. It is a big challenge, and we see here now from the first put in from Ireland.
Healy, Best and Ross against Perugini, Giraldini and Castrogiovanni with all of their 200-plus caps, but Perugini has popped up there. And Ronan O'Gara, as he might do for much of this match, happy for the time being at least to pin Italy back in their 22. And Italy not hanging around, but a couple of early scrums, and Ireland will feel much the happiest of the 2 packs so far.
Yeah, it's a very good scrum, good response, and Mike Ross has proven that you know, he's had his doubters in the past, and he's been fantastic since he's come into the Irish team. Great scrum there, and a poor enough kick from Ronan O'Gara. Very, very disappointing kick from him.
Line out has been working well for Ireland thus far in the tournament. Jamie Heaslett gathers that one. This is Stephen Ferris, non-stop Ulsterman, winning his 29th cap this evening. Ball chipped through beautifully by O'Driscoll. So many aspects of his game are world-class, the kicking amongst them.
Absolutely fantastic kick from Brian O'Driscoll. Simple line out one. We see it here, straight to O'Driscoll, and he does the simple thing well. And that's what Ireland need to do tonight. They need to play it in behind the Italians, not make those mistakes in front of them.
First test of Italy's defensive line out. That man, Cornelius Funsail, 32-year-old, surprise inclusion in the squad. Was on that occasion not the first target. It was Alessandro Zanni, who has been around considerably longer. Sergio Parise, as ever, the foreman on the shop floor. Semenzato, the scrum half, who just might be the man to take over long-term from Troncon. There are high hopes for him back home in Italy. This is Rob Kearney, one of the try scorers in the handsome win against Russia. O'Gara feeding the big man Tommy Bowe, who'd come in off his wing to get involved. Murray keeps it alive. This is O'Gara. Important tackle by Parise. Picked up again, though, by Murray. Involved this evening, we're told, as much for his physical strength around the breakdown. He will act as a ninth forward on occasions, taking on that blue Italian pack. Earls back inside to O'Brien. And getting some ball time. This is Darcy to O'Gara to O'Connell. Cian Healy, who looked as ready as anyone for this match to start during the anthems. Look of absolute determination on his face during the singing. Bow, ambitious offload. Bergamasco was very, very close to making him pay for that ambition, and what had been a rather pleasant spell of Irish possession came to a rather dangerous conclusion.
Very, very risky out of Tommy Bowe. Bergamasco nearly catches it. If he caught that ball, he was clean through.
I'm not sure whether you can hear that. We certainly can't. Conversation between Jonathan Kaplan and Chris Pollock on the far side.
13. Number 13. Bring him here, please. 13.
It looks like he's looking for Canale. There's been some incident that the linesman has come in and reported.
So he's taken a man without the ball. He has to wait for him to get it before he contacts. All right, so it's just a penalty for now. Just keep the shape and the discipline, okay?
Well, I think if you can't, if we can't hear it, we'll work on the assumption that you can't. So whatever Chris Pollock had to say, it's resulted in a penalty for Ireland, and Ronan O'Gara tells Kaplan that he quite fancies having a go for the posts.
We might get to see it again. It looks like it was a... We see it here. It was... yeah, we see it here on the far side. Bit of a scuffle. I think Darcy took exception to Canale tackling him without the ball. Penalty goes in his favour.
Brilliant start. Brilliant start from Ronan O'Gara. He's become Ireland's leading World Cup point scorer during this tournament, and he's just increased his tally to 75.
And that's the start Ireland will have wanted. Declan Kidney will be really pleased with that. He'll want to get the points on the board. He'll know the importance of those penalties tonight, and great start for O'Gara.
A reminder, if you're just switching on, that a draw will be enough for Ireland to go through. Italy have to win. Pressure on both teams, but particularly on the Italians. There's only one route that will get them into the quarter-finals. The restart was a little bit messy, and Ireland will therefore have to face a defensive scrum. Sean O'Brien will take his place in it.
Yeah, he had a lot of time here and took his eye off. I think he was watching Bergamasco coming up, and poor mistake there, gives Italy a chance here, straight from the kickoff.
Just the most fabulous atmosphere in the stadium this evening and around the city for the whole day as well. I've never seen so many camper vans in my entire life. If there was a scrap of spare space in Dunedin today, you can bet your bottom dollar that there was an Irish camper van on it.
It's been absolutely amazing, and I probably sound biased, but there's a sea of green here. There's certainly a number of Italians here, but the Irish have outnumbered them by a huge amount.
Certainly not enough seats in the stadium. 30,000 for all the Irish who are in the city tonight. They will be in the bars packed, watching the big screens and watching Italy try to put some pressure on that scrum, but they will have to reset it. First time really in the match so far, Alan, that Italy have shown us a little bit of what they're capable of.
Yeah, they've shown their intent there. Parise has kept the ball at the back of the scrum, but Ireland's resistance was strong there. It collapsed, reset again. I think it's going to be no surprise. Parise is going to leave this ball at the back of the scrum again, and they're going to go again at Ireland.
Jonathan Kaplan just having a word with Cian Healy, an impromptu front row coaching lesson, talking about the height that Healy is going in on as he collides with Castrogiovanni on the other side.